Warning, the following episode of TYFP contains depictions of graphic gore and violence. Viewer discretion is advised. Ladies and gentlemen, bros and broettes, welcome to Night Before Blade, episode 31, hosted by the mighty Tchollo, BLJ, and Lambo, and special guest star Hooty. And with that being said, I will give it to the boys.
Yo!
What up?
What's good, baby? We back in this bad boy once again. Oh yeah. It's good to see all of y'all. Thank y'all for pulling up y'all virtual chairs once again. To y'all
Love
that
to see
saw our
y'all's
message in the
beautiful
community. I know that's right. For y'all that seen our message in the community tab, we've decided to take a little more time ironing out our podcast episodes. It's bittersweet, but I feel like that this is a great direction, and it's not necessarily, etched in stone. It's subject to change. I remember a couple episodes back, Lambo was like, this is a continuous learning process, and we're experimenting and trying new things. Taking a little longer on the episodes is one of those things we are trying. So thank y'all for being patient. If you looked at the thumbnail, it was cut off. It said, ease be patty. So please be patient. That's my way of saying, please be patient, ease be patty. So look out for that on a future episode. This is a very
put it
special
on a t-shirt.
Oh yeah, for sure. This is a very special episode for me because I don't know if y'all see how lit I am, but y'all see my dragon coins in my glasses. I'm in a Mortal Kombat frenzy type of mood today, and I want to revisit the lore and the world of Mortal Kombat. And that is one of the big reasons. But go ahead, Lambo. What was you saying?
So we're just gonna be reviewing the Mortal Kombat movie from last year, right? Like that's all we're talking about.
Oh man, whoa! Don't be spoiled in the surprise. Now you're gonna make them get up and cut the podcast off.
Well,
But
I'm gonna
this is
spoil the
one
other
of the-
surprise. That movie was Harkins juice, boy.
Oh yeah.
Straight
Hey, how you
dog
say it,
water.
Bill J?
Yeah,
Oh, yeah,
exactly.
was not good.
Yeah.
We'll talk about that. We'll kick
One
on
day.
that movie towards the end. Now we'll give it a little. We'll give it a little not shine, but we'll give it a
Right.
little exposure at the end of the pod. But since we're talking Mortal Kombat, that's one of the big reasons. Besides him being a great friend, that's why Hooty has decided to come hang out with us today and pull up his virtual chair and give his his feedback, his thoughts on things, because he plays Mortal Kombat as well. Me and him have some legendary battles. I actually got some Twitch clips, them slapping me around. Probably have Lambo freeze time.
More than
And
a
he
couple
gonna freeze
times.
time here, and he gonna show you a couple of clips. They like 5 or 6 second clips maybe, but you'll see some of the nonsense. But we definitely had some shenanigans when we were in the MK11 lobby. But that's enough on me. I'm excited to talk about all things Mortal Kombat, but I'm gonna give the mic to Hooty a bit and let him tell you what Mortal Kombat means to him, and let him tell you a little bit about himself if he chooses to do so. So what's up, Hooty? What's good, man?
Hey, man, I really appreciate y'all letting me on here, and because Mortal Kombat's one of my top things. Like, really, I'm not even much of a fighting game player, but Mortal Kombat's been something, a part of my life since I was a little one. I mean, that's one of the main reasons I'm in video games. So being part of this episode, guys, I really appreciate y'all bringing me on. And also, I do feel like, even though
Glad to have you.
I'm just a special guest, I do feel like this is
Likewise.
this is my podcast too. I'm here every day with y'all, even though y'all might not know it. Like, I honestly feel like I know BLJ really well, even though he has no idea who I am, because it's just picking up on his stuff. Like when he killed me a while back with the unforgivable stuff, man, I was dying. I was like, yes, I know the feels.
So you watched Unforgivable back in the day too?
Oh, absolutely. It had me and my buddies in tears laughing at that stupid videos that they had. That was great. But yeah, man, like I said, I'm not really much of a fighting game player. Mortal Kombat's always been something. Playing with you guys who've really gotten me into fighting games. I really wasn't much into them, but then Lambo has taught me the ways. Lambo's been my sensei of some sort, saying, first you must take the L's to give the L's. So
it's good advice.
But yeah.
So I was going to say, while we're hearing you talking about Mortal Kombat, why don't you share with our audience who your favorite Mortal Kombat character is?
Oh, okay. All right. So here's the thing. This is going to be kind of weird. And you're probably not going to
off with the controversy right out the gate.
But honestly, my favorite MK character has always been Reptile.
Oh, okay. Fair.
Yeah.
And fair. They've done my boy dirty through most games, making him a jobber or whatever, but it's all right. But I don't know. Like when I pick up a Mortal Kombat game, I'll never know who my favorite character is going to be. It's when I find them, that's who it is, and then I'm a character loyalist.
Okay. That's fair.
Okay.
We'll get to your character loyalty in MK11 a little later.
Okay.
We'll talk about that. We will talk about that a little later. For sure. So, with that being said, y'all heard the nice warm welcome to. Yep, there it is. Y'all heard the nice warm welcome to Hooty, BLJ. We can't start this episode off. Me and I'm pretty sure the audience want to know too. Is there a question of the week? This episode was a little delayed. So I don't know if we can continue calling the question. I say still call it question of the week.
Question of the bye week?
Yeah, this one might be
awful.
No?
I'm still going to go
question of the every other week.
You guys are in luck because I just happen to have a question of the bye week. You know what I
mean? Question of the bye week.
But before I get into the question, though, I know my guy Hooty just gave himself an introduction, let us know a little bit more about him. But just briefly, sure. I want to give my guy a round of applause just for, being with us for this topic and talking with us tonight.
Yeah.
Super excited.
Yeah, that is a monumental achievement. TYFP's first guest, although, like Hooty said, he's been a part of every episode, and that means a lot to us.
Yes, sir.
Thank you for supporting us, and thank you for accepting our invitation to come aboard and talk things Mortal Kombat with us. So, you know what I'm saying?
Man,
Speaking of Mortal Kombat,
honored, though. I'm very honored, guys. I'm so glad you're
here. Speaking of MK, before we get the question of the bye week, you know what I'm saying? I'm gonna go ahead and get this flex out the way. Besides my beast ass dragon coin glasses that you may or may not see spinning because of my positioning on my computer. I don't know.
And that's not him looking at his computer either. Those coins are actually in his glasses lenses.
Oh, yeah. For shizzle. I'm from the future. I'm also flex one time for the one time. Quick flex, I found this mug online and I'm loving it. And, I'm going to rock it this episode, MK. So check me out.
Show the peeps.
You know what I'm saying?
You gotta hit him with that. Hit him with that Ric Flair jacket.
Hit him with it, you know what I'm saying? Check me out.
That Ric Flair jacket spin on him.
What's good? You know what I'm saying? Got them all back there. I'm excited. I'm super excited. Mortal Kombat episode. I'm ready to get it in. Ready to get it in and talk about what it means to me. With that being said, there it goes again. I'm gonna let BLJ ask us the question of the bye week.
Now that we got the fashion show out the way, let me get this question. Yeah. You know what I mean?
Oh, we're doing a fashion show? Let me go get my jacket.
So, question for you young men. Let's talk fatalities really quick.
Oh, man.
So as we all know, this episode is Mortal Kombat, anything Mortal Kombat, right? And fatalities just happens to be a big part of Mortal Kombat, right?
Yes,
It's kind of
sir.
a big deal.
So with that being said, over the years, they've had many fatalities. They've had different approaches to fatalities when they let you create your own fatality. They had brutalities. They've had animalities and just plain old fatalities. And even in the later games, they've had like the stage brutalities. You know what I mean?
Yes.
Different from the old school brutalities when they used to do like a 15-hit combo and you explode or whatever. But anyways, the question for you guys is
combo.
Can you guys tell me something that you loved about the fatalities over the years, and one thing that you would like to change or improve with the new installment of Mortal Kombat?
So is it just the newest installment, or over the years something we loved and something we'd like to
just
change?
something over the years that you really liked about fatalities, and just something that you really hated. It could be a fatality that you hate, or it can just be the inputs for the fatalities, anything.
Okay.
Well, who do you want to take it first? Let the
Sure.
guest
You all sit
have
back.
that honor.
Sure, yeah, I'll take it.
All
I
right,
know
cool.
one thing that I really like is with a lot of them, they have a lot of creativity. Like, for example, like the noob Cybot one in 9 when they split them like a wishbone, and then they get to the head.
Make a wish.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yep.
That one was very gruesome and very creative.
And then, well,
Very
actually,
disturbing to a lot of people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then, well, one thing I kind of don't like is some of them don't feel like they don't all have the same energy of ones like that. You'll have
Very
ones that
true.
are very creative.
So funny you say that.
And then you'll find
Go
ones. You'll find ones that are just like, really? That's it? That's all you're gonna do? You're just gonna punch them like 3 times and they explode? Like,
Yes.
Or once.
or once, yeah.
Liu Kang.
No comment.
or what's the? Oh nope, I lost it. I don't know. There was a couple of them that were pretty. Yep, there it goes. They were pretty, like, for example, like the one where Quan Chi rips the leg off and hits him over and over and over.
Oh yeah.
And 4. That was really creative. And then you have ones.
Same Mortal Kombat where he had his worst fatality when he like jumps on.
Yeah, he also lost his street cred.
Yeah,
there we go.
With the neck stretch. Remember that one?
Yeah.
Worst one all time.
I tried not to.
They gave a little insight on why that happened. It was really cool. It was a really cool reason why they did that. They said they were facing time constraints and they were running out of time, so they had to think of something fast. And that is why Quan Chi got bestowed the worst fatality in MK history. It was pretty bad.
Yeah,
it was horrible.
Yeah. Even calling it a fatality is kind of a stretch.
Oh man, I see what you did there.
Yep.
For sure.
What
so that's your input?
Yeah, and I want to see further on. I don't want to go stuff that's just shock factor. I want to see fatalities that aren't so overkill, because a lot of times you're like, why did you do that? They're already dead at this point. Like,
oh man, that's how I know
you're just doing it for
the machine.
You're just doing it for the extra shock value of it. It's like,
Yep.
Okay, I agree. A good example of that, and I'm gonna elaborate. I can already tell you a fatality that fits the description of what you're talking about, and I was wondering the same thing. Let's take Scorpion's fatality from Mortal Kombat 11, where he cuts you up, he decapitates your head, kicks you, you're already dead, and then he throws the harpoon or the spear at your head, and it comes through their mouth. They're already dead. So you know what I mean? I totally understand where you're coming from in that regard. And that's one of the things that I wanted them to dial back on too. I'm not trying to sound like I'm some psycho murderer, serial killer, but in the world of Mortal Kombat, the fatalities are a lot more satisfying when the final blow kills the opponent. Not they
Right.
die 2 seconds in, and then 9 seconds later they're still performing
Still
the fatality
mutilating
in
your
their own.
body.
And it's really
that's just
it's really funny you mentioned that too, because so there's that one, and it's kind of like, okay, that was pointless. But his other fatality is probably one of the best ones in the game, where he hits him and then teleports down and then comes up, and as he jumps up, he splits him in half with his fire chain.
yeah,
And then he ends with that
is a good one. Yeah.
badass pose that he has. Like,
yeah.
so I don't know.
Master Hasashi doing scorpion things.
Yeah,
Yeah,
right.
I understand.
And speaking of doing newer things with the fatalities, in 11, that was new for them to do a fatality. And then at the end, there was like a pose at the end, and everything was going in slow motion around the fatality.
Very, very injustice like. That's what it reminded me of. The injustice.
That's what I was gonna say.
Framework. Mm-hmm. Well, yeah, appreciate that. Lambo, you want to step in next?
Man, so mine's kind of two sides of the same coin. Like what I really liked about fatalities back in the day was the discovery process of trying to figure out the button combination to get it to work. And then they've kind of ruined it now, where you can use the easy fatality tokens, or you can buy the combination from the crypt. And part of it's online too. I get that it can't really be helped once people figure it out. They put it online and you just go find it. But I kind of miss that feeling of discovery. Once you finally figured out how to pull off a fatality, and the sense of accomplishment that you had from figuring it out finally.
Do you remember? I can't remember exactly what episode it was. It was actually recent. We were talking about our arcade experiences. It actually was a question of the week, not the question of the bye week, but question of the week. And I told you about the gentleman that was in our neighborhood arcade tilt, and he was playing Reptile on MK4, and he knew that fatality, and he was pretty much a literal god in the Mortal Kombat scene. Just everybody loved this dude. And again, he's sitting there with his arms crossed, like, it just was a crazy feeling. And here I am, a child. I was probably like, MK4 came out, I probably was like maybe 11, 12, might even been 10. But I was thinking like, man, I want to be cool like that. I want to be good like that, where everybody, cheers for me, So, yeah, I was just elaborating on what you were saying about that feeling of accomplishment, knowing a fatality. But go ahead, good sir. Pardon me.
I would just like to see more of a difficult path to not really difficult, but just like more challenge to finding and unlocking the fatalities, rather than just it being given to you.
That's a good,
especially
that's
the easy fatalities. Take. I really don't like the easy fatality tokens.
Right.
Oh yeah.
But I think they only had that in MKX.
They can stay over there.
The tokens. I think that was really only an MKX thing.
Did they have it in 11 as well?
They are.
Yeah, they have it in 11 too. Yeah.
Yeah.
So that is an interesting take.
Better than that.
Yeah, that's an interesting take. Younger audiences shouldn't be playing it anyway, but I feel like people who are not younger, casual gamers that are not into doing the forward, down, forward, or, down, forward, or way away, those motions, I feel like it introduces casuals into the game. And later on, when they run out of tokens, they can do the real input, Yeah. I've been adopted this fun for everyone mind frame. And the fun for everyone, let someone have a big party and they're all hanging out and they're playing Mortal Kombat, and somebody puts in an easy fatality and it makes their day, and it makes them a wonderful memory. Then I'm not going to put the try hard barrier up and say, no, you need to be a real gamer and do it the real way. It is what it is, but I'm not shooting.
I don't even know that I would
air.
say that I'm to that point either. It's not that I am like, oh, you should be a real gamer and figure it out on your own. It's like, I want you to have that sense of accomplishment. Like, that is a good thing to strive to learn something and figure something out, and then get that feeling of accomplishment once you do figure it out. That is a positive emotion for everybody. And I just want more people to have it rather than the immediate gratification.
Got you.
Yeah.
Lambo with the elaborated explanations. Is it some other concept that you want to share as well?
The biggest thing is that, like, kind of like Hooty and you were saying actually as well, that they go over the top a lot of the times for no reason, just to be flashy, and that kind of gets old. But I also wish there were more fatalities, because it gets old seeing the same one or two over and over again. Which is why I like the brutalities, because the brutalities are more numerous and more interesting to watch, and they're over a lot faster.
Yeah,
it's funny.
I feel like
they
go ahead, BLJ.
Yeah, it's funny that you mentioned that you get tired of seeing the one or two fatalities, but I feel like MK fans as a whole, like, we like fatalities, but if you notice, the more you play, like maybe in tournaments or even like online games, the fatalities are cool for like the first month or so. Then after that, people get mad at you for doing fatalities. Like, it takes too long. Like, let's get to the next match.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
So
that's pretty much how
where
I
was
look at
going
it.
to jump in. So that's where I was going to jump in, off the top ropes. I feel like I don't want to say as a species, like I'm a scientist, but I just feel like as a civilization, humans constantly, the human mind is a fickle thing, and people getting tired of fatalities. Think about Lambo, you excluded, because I know you said the earlier MKs you didn't dabble too much in, right? But Hooty, BLJ, maybe y'all weren't like me, but me, my younger brother, my cousins, we used to duke it out in Mortal Kombat all of the time. MK1, MK2, MK3, and we would almost always do a fatality, and we did not get tired of it.
And to be fair, though, back then the fatalities were a lot faster.
True. Yeah, I'm gonna get to that part too. I'm just saying that I just think as society continues to mold itself and evolve, people express what is and is not acceptable. And if it gains enough traction, everybody else will jump on the bandwagon. And that's why fatalities are unbearable. But I am going to sit here and agree with y'all that although some of them, not all, I'm referring to MK11, MKX too, but I'm mainly pinpointing 11. Although some of them are really cool, the fatalities are lengthy in 11. But if you go back to the throwback classics like Mortal Kombat 2, Mortal Kombat 2 is just iconic, hence the jacket. But I never got tired of doing Liu Kang's dragon fatality, or Johnny Cage's iconic torso rip, Kung Lao's where he splits you down the middle. Let's go with Major Jackson Briggs' arm rip. I could go on and on about all those fatalities. Even another one, if you were badass enough, Easter egg, I'm pretty sure all of y'all know this because they paid homage to it in Mortal Kombat 11. If you held the low punch button for 25 seconds during the second round of MK2 and you won with Shang Tsung and you got close to him and let go of low punch, he would morph into Kintaro and kill you. And it took a while for people to find that fatality out. So they paid an homage to that in MK11 and let him morph into Kintaro again and kill you again. So it's cool stuff like that that molded my childhood and makes me love this series. I am a huge MK fan. So again, I wasn't trying to take the microphone, but I was just elaborating on your point.
Oh, no, you're good.
Here I am.
I say it all the time. This is a conversation, bro.
In the middle.
It's not a lecture.
For sure. Oh, yeah. I got you. But I didn't want to just grab the mic so long that you forgot where you were going. That's all I really had to say on it was I really just want that sense of discovery to come back. Cool. Somebody's going to data mine it anyway. It ain't like it used to be where we couldn't get into that. And to be fair, to a large extent, the sense of discovery is there. You could just not look them up. But you are also sometimes going to just be going through the crypt, buying things, and you're going to buy it, and then there it is. So for the most part, that sense of discovery can still remain. But there is a chance you'll find it.
Well, nowadays you also got to remember that the fatalities are part of the marketing. Like, I know when MKX and MK11 were coming out, it was always like, what's the next character? And then what's the fatalities?
Yep.
Like
Yeah.
immediately. Like
Which I don't like that either.
We need at
But we
least
can
one
talk about that later.
fatality or we riot on Twitter, you know?
Yeah. So, I was gonna say, BLJ, did you want to jump in next, or did you want me to go next and you
I'll go.
come in at the end? Oh yeah, all right, go for it.
I will say I like over the years of MK how they've tried different things. You know, they used to have animalities, which they got rid of. And one weird thing about the animalities, I forget which MK it was. I think it was 3. Well, MK3 was the only one that had them, right? The animalities.
MK3 Ultimate. I'm
Yep.
trying to think. Did anyone
I
else?
think one of the 3D era games had it too.
I don't think
know.
so.
Maybe the first one
No.
or the second
I
one.
think it was just 3 in Ultimate.
I think it
Or
was just,
trilogy.
yeah, I think it was just 3 Ultra and Trilogy.
Yeah.
That sounds right.
I'm making up memories then because I have a memory of
No,
doing it on the
they
bell
were-
tower.
You thinking of some characters morph into animals for a fatality, but it wasn't everybody.
Maybe that's what it
doing
is.
an animality.
One-
They were
one-
going to bring them back in X, but they said something about time constraints and budget. And stuff
Always
like
with
that.
the time constraints.
Yeah, because MK9 they brought back babalities. MKX they were supposed to bring back animalities, I believe, and then MK11 they went ahead and brought back friendships, which were
Which
great.
are great.
Yeah. But y'all go ahead.
Yeah, but one thing that was weird about the animalities to me, I think it was Shiva. She turned into a scorpion, and Scorpion, I think he turned into like a penguin or something like that.
Yep.
Yeah, a
Yeah.
lot of people didn't like that.
It was so weird.
Yeah.
Random.
Somebody
Some of them
should
were
have been
random and then some
fired
of
for
them made
that.
sense.
Yeah. Reptile doesn't turn into a lizard or something. He turns into a monkey and chases you off the screen,
Yeah.
which was hilarious, but it didn't fit his theme. Katana turns into a bunny rabbit and Melina turns into a skunk. Like they were just the game back then was just supposed to be zany and goofy, you know,
Yeah.
to get a good laugh.
Smoke
Another
turned into
random
a bat. Or no, a bull.
one. Yeah. Cyrex, yeah, right? No, Smoke. Smoke is the bull.
Yeah, Smoke turned
I'm
into
trying
a
to-
bull.
Cyrex was the bat.
Cyrax, The bat, yeah.
Nope. I got it wrong again.
Cyrax
So
was a
Smoke
shark.
is the bull. Cyrex was the shark, and Sector.
Oh,
was the
yeah.
bat. And
That's what it
Rain was a elephant that
Elephant.
blew your skin off or something, which was weird. And then Curtis Stryker, he turns into a T-Rex. So they were
T-Rex, yeah.
just meant to be goofy.
So-
but shout
so
out
hold
to
on.
Sub-Zero. Oh, go ahead.
I was about to say, that's what I was going to say. Was Sub-Zero the only one that makes sense?
Yeah, I was going to say
Yeah.
shout out to Sub Sandwich. Sub Sandwich turned into a polar bear. And that was pretty cool. See what I did there? It's pretty cool. But yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, go ahead, VLJ. We just in here
no,
popping
that's
off.
fine.
What was you saying?
No, I was just saying like they've been known to just try, new things. So they went from, having regular fatalities to animalities and babalities and friendships. And then I forget which 3D era one it was, Deception or Armageddon. I think it was Armageddon where they let you create your own fatality.
Yeah,
Yeah, it was
that was
Armageddon.
Armageddon. Because you could create your
And
own
I was
MK
not a
character.
fan.
No one was.
I want to say I was more not a fan than a fan. I like that they gave you that freedom to do it, but I just feel like they all kind of look the same, so it just wasn't
Yeah.
as cool. But it was a cool idea. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And there's a reason for that too. They did the creative fatality because there were so many characters in the game, they could not fit every fatality for every character. So they just gave you creative fatality so that they
And
could
hope
just
for
have
the
a
best.
system in there.
Right.
Yep.
Right.
Yep.
Hope
So-
for the best.
Yeah.
Is what it is, unfortunately.
That one was all right, but it wasn't my favorite or whatever. But I will say to go back to Hooty's point earlier, one thing that it always kind of grinded my gears, right? Some of the fatalities just didn't have the creative factor with them. I remember sometimes I look at some fatalities and I'm like, bro, I could have thought of 10 different things better than this. You know what I mean? I can't think of one right offhand, but I always used to think like, man, I just want to email NetherRealm and be like, hey, do you guys got any openings for fatality ideas, like, can I pitch you some ideas? Because someone would just dry. It's like, who thought of this and was like, you know what? This is going to go well with the new game. You know what I mean? So that's one thing I didn't like. But I will say one of my favorite fatalities is actually it's which one is it? Where I think it's Scorpion in MKX, where he slices the front of your face off, or is that MK11? That's MKX, right?
Oh,
no, that's X.
No,
yeah,
I'm pretty sure that's
definitely
X.
Yeah.
100%.
Oh, you know what? No, it was him. Yeah, he slices the front of your face off. I really like that one a lot.
Take his face off.
Yeah, and then your brain like oozes out afterwards. I thought that was pretty sick.
Yeah.
But yeah, overall, like, fatalities are great. I just want to see them. If everybody has one, I just want them all to be creative. I don't want to look at any and it's like, bro, who thought of this? Somebody with no brain was like, hey, this would be great, and it's horrible. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because Ed Boon revealed, or somebody revealed, that they all get together at a table and they all think. So you get to see the reason why, and I'm not dissing nobody on a creative team, but why some characters have these wonderful, amazing fatalities, and you are lucky enough to main this character and you're happy, and then somebody else who their favorite character is get this, insert fart noise here. But they get one of those, and you're like, well, why was that fatality so lame? It's from different viewpoints and different mind frames, And when you finish your input, BLJ, I'll go ahead and elaborate, because you pretty much knocking on what I was talking about.
Sometimes nobody can come up with anything better.
Sometimes I want to feel like BLJ. I feel like if we got a trip and we got to sit at the table, especially for like my favorite characters.
I'm talking about the people that are at the table, though.
Oh, yeah, for sure. I got you.
And one thing that they took out was actually my favorite finishing moves. I really love the old school brutalities. They hit you like 30 times and they uppercut you and your body explodes. I always loved those. But then they took them out.
Not a brutality, that's an ultra combo.
Yeah. I want to elaborate on those too.
But they took those out. And then now, they replaced them with, you still do a combo, but you have to end it with certain circumstances in the fight. And then like certain button commands. And then it's like a level fatality, which is cool. But I just like the old school. They just stand there, you beat up on them for about a good 10 seconds and then make them explode. I thought those were sick. So hopefully in a newer game, I don't think they'll make a comeback, but I would love to see those come back. You know what I mean? To some degree. Yeah. But that's my 2 cents, though.
Okay. Well, thanks for sharing. A lot of elaboration on this question of the bye week. This is definitely one of the longer questions of the bye week, and I'm not going to help it. The cause in it. We were talking about.
See you guys tomorrow.
Oh yeah, we were talking about some of our favorite aspects of the games. Those that don't know by now, I'm the voiceover guy. I'm all in the voiceover and stuff. I dabble in it myself. Oh man, since about 20 years ago. But the earlier iterations of Mortal Kombat. Yeah, the earlier iterations of Mortal Kombat, especially Mortal Kombat 2, those screams when they would get a fatality performed on them were like super believable. And to assist, I believe BLJ brought it up. I think it's BLJ or Lambo. Somebody said it, how the fatalities are over the top. It's like overkill. They started doing that. Oh, well, my bad. I'm going to give credit to credit is due. Hooty. I feel like they nailed it in the earlier Mortal Kombat games. Lambo, his ears, they start steaming and his feet start itching when I mention this character's name because I glorify him so much. But Liu Kang in Mortal Kombat 4, he morphs into a dragon and he attacks you. And it's one of the coolest fatalities to this day. He grabs you and he slings you around like you a chew toy, and he's not continuously biting you. He just has you in his jaws and he's slinging you around, and they're screaming, getting murdered, and then he slams them on the ground, and that's it. That's a super believable, fatality for me. I like that aspect of realism. But there are
what you're saying is you enjoy watching people getting eaten alive.
No, it's just I was engulfed in the fantasy of Mortal Kombat.
The fantasy, huh? Now we're talking about fantasies? This is a different kind of podcast, Toro.
Oh, man. I thought that was a badass fatality. But we have other fatalities. I can't remember off the top of my head, but something brutal will happen to these characters because I'm still going off the voice acting. And let's say that they get their arm cut off or something, and they're just like, oh, that's the noise they make, Oh, and I'm like, and this is in the later MKs, like MKX or MK11. And, I could not get into that. I did not like that. So I feel like they got kind of lazy. No disrespect to the voice actors now. But, they hire these high dollar voice actors, and I totally understand you do not want to strain your vocal cords, screaming like you getting a fatality put on you. But I feel like a lot of the noises when they're getting a fatality put on them, they're not as believable as the OG games. One of the best. How much
of that is the voice actors versus the ADR director?
Yeah, you're right. It could be them as well. I didn't ever think of that. But in Mortal Kombat Deception, Melina has one of the most blood-curdling screams you'll ever hear. And I was going to save that. I know we're on the question of the week, and I was going to ask y'all what y'all favorite fatality was or a memorable fatality after the question of the week or the bye week. So I won't elaborate that much more on.
Now you got it.
Before you go there, you was talking about the voice acting for getting the arm cut off, and they do like this weird scream. But then in the older games, they had believable screams, right?
Yes.
These same games that had these believable screams. How did you feel about like Raiden doing his Superman move, and he's like, like what kind of voice acting is that?
Fantastic question. And this is going to make me sound super nerdy. That gibberish was so funny and memorable. I will go to a YouTube video to this day and listen to Raiden. Johnny's in the car. He's what he says. Johnny's in the car. Or, Liu Kang and his flying kicks and stuff. All that gibberish. Shout out to Lambo editor extraordinaire. I can't remember what episode, but we was talking about Sonya having a bicycle kick like Liu Kang. And I had elaborated the noise she make. And she makes this noise. We're going to pull it up here again here. She makes that noise right there. So I'm really big on all that gibberish from back in the day. MK2 Liu Kang, he has the best sound effects out of all the Liu Kangs. But nah, the gibberish doesn't bother me. Like those games were made with a lot of tender love special. And care. Yeah, they were, because these people, poured their heart and soul and didn't have a huge budget. And they brought this violent game, which was responsible for the ESRB rating, by the way. They've already made history. Yeah. They put all their passion into this game, and that's why this game is 11 games deep. And it's rumored that they're working on a 12th iteration. And I have mixed feelings about that. Yeah, I have mixed feelings about that, and I'll elaborate about that.
Well, it's funny you mentioned the Raiden's gibberish, because I was slightly annoyed that they took it out in 11.
I am too. Don't get me wrong. I'm the same way. I don't know why they did that.
I was main and Raiden since that game came out, and I'm like, I ain't got no damn. I'll be y'all as I'm flying through the sky. Yeah. It's pissing me
off. Oh yeah, it does empower us, but
doesn't have the same impact. Damn it!
Yeah, it doesn't. It just doesn't hit as hard.
It does not. Yeah, it does not.
Does 10% less damage if he doesn't do the gibberish.
Yeah, one more thing I want to put the spotlight on. This is the later games. 9 kind of started it, but they knocked it out of the park with MKX and MK11. The interactions at the beginning of a fight. Oh man, I can't tell you how many of those are perfect. Like literal 12 out of 10. Like, there's one of them. It's like one of my favorite. Like, I'll just name one. There's one where, ironically enough, it's Raiden, and it's Raiden versus Johnny Cage. And then I'm trying to think exactly what he says. Oh, he's talking to Johnny Cage. You know, Johnny Cage is arrogant. You know, he's confident. He's cocky. And Raiden gives him a warning. And he's like,
every day you fail to train, someone somewhere is.
Relax. It's the Cage you're talking to.
When you meet them in combat, you will die.
every day that you fail to train, someone somewhere is. And then Johnny Cage, he walks up doing his martial arts and stuff. And he's like, relax. It's the Cage you're talking to. And then Raiden comes back and he's like, when you meet them in combat, you will die. You know, just scolding him. And I don't know. I just love that level of depth that they put into the games to let them talk to each other like that. I love those.
I got one for you. MKX, if you do a reptile mirror, he mentions nobody's going to fall for your trick, Shang Tsung. And it was really great because Shang Tsung's not an MKX, but he makes a reference that's who that is when you mirror the reptiles.
So he says it is Shang Tsung, but this is me. So that is pretty cool. Yeah. So spiritually, you're playing with Shang Tsung, but he plays this reptile the whole time. That's a cool little
So there's and then I love how they do hide the Easter eggs in there too. Like they even mentioned I think Bi-Han in MK11 at one point.
Yep.
Several times.
Bi-Han and Kwa Leon.
My bad. It was my bad. Smoke. They mentioned Smoke.
What is his name? Tomas Verbata, some name like that.
Oh, he's got a weird name.
Like that, but
but
it was just like an offhand reference, and if you're not really understand the deep lore, you could easily miss it.
Yeah, because his new form, even though they did, and that's another thing I'm gonna give it a nitpick about. They will write all these crazy arcade ladder endings and get you excited, and they never explore those routes. Like Smoke, he got possessed by this. He got some of them turned canon though, but Smoke, because they mentioned it later, because then Smoke was in MK9, but he got killed in MKX. He says he goes by that name again. I think he said Aninra. I'm Aninra, and he's supposed to be this super cracked out, entity with smoke powers, and he's supposed to just be powered up. And Smoke stands, those that love everything Smoke, kiss his boots, poking fun at him. They're looking forward to seeing this new powered up form, and he never makes his debut. And I
like Smoke, but not that much. That.
Oh yeah, I thought he was one. I thought the OG MK trilogy, Smoke, Human Smoke, and MK2 Smoke. I liked them a lot. I wasn't too big on the cyborg characters. They weren't my cup of tea. But that was like the interactions were really, really cool. But I ain't even gonna reflect on
definitely
memory lane.
That was
oh yeah.
I mean,
appreciate the question.
If we're gonna go back to memory lane, I really missed the human reptile. Like I liked the actual ninja reptile instead of just the lizard man.
Everyone does. Maybe MK12 they'll listen. Mixed feelings about MK12. Maybe MK12 they'll listen, and you might see a real Zeteran or human reptile may return because his lore back in the gap is they look human. I hope they stick with their own lore. And I'm going to sound like an MK nerd, but their lore is they look human. But the further they are from their race, they de-evolve into something more reptilian. That was their reasoning for him de-evolving. So hopefully MK12, again, mixed feelings. If we meet any Zeterans, they look human and they look cool. You know what I mean?
Right.
But
isn't Reptile or no, he's not even canonically the last Zeteran, right? There's still two others.
Nah, he is. They didn't add that other stuff in until later.
Right.
And Chameleon, you thinking of Chameleon. Chameleon is not canon.
Yeah, male and female Chameleon.
Yeah, they're not canon. So it's still Reptile.
Okay, so he is the last one.
I'm about to jump off this question of the bye week because I will go on and on. But shout out to the Reptile stands out there. I feel your pain because me, as a younger kid, again, playing through Mortal Kombat 4, they slapped us all in the face. People who love Reptile, you beat his arcade ladder ending. And he just simply asked Quan Chi and Shinnok to get transported back to his home world in the past so he can live with his people. And Quan Chi, being a dickhead, says it's not worth of Shinnok's attention. And Reptile gets mad, as he should. He was like, I demand it. If it were not for forces such as myself, Raiden's forces would have prevailed or something like that. And then Quan Chi, being dickhead volume 2, says, perhaps you could tell your feelings to Shinnok himself. And Shinnok appears and literally talks down to Reptile, calls him an infidel, and say, I could kill you with a mere thought. And then Reptile is struggling to breathe. And he's sad. He just wants to go back to his people. And he's like, I thought we had a deal. And then Shinnok says, I'm not a god of my word, Reptile. All deals off. And then he pops my boy's head off. And that's your ending for beating the game. Slapped us all in the face. So, more of the story, Quan Chi is a dickhead. So is Shinnok.
Well, a lot of those, we're not going to get into MK4, but a lot of those stories were a slap in the face. Like,
yeah.
Sometimes not with an appropriate body part. Should you say that?
Oh, yeah. Appreciate the question of the bye week, BLJ. That mug was about 30 minutes long, but I hope that all viewers, especially Mortal Kombat lore heads, like those interesting takes, on that question of the bye week. That sounds so weird to say. So let's get this out of the way, and we'll pick 2. And we probably won't elaborate on it too long. But through all the MK games, even the Game Boy ones, if y'all can remember, 2 favorite memorable fatalities or favorite?
I'll give you one. It was in MK9, the level that you're fighting on the bridge, and you can do a fatality where the car runs you over.
Yeah, that was intense. Very traumatic. Yeah, the speeds up and shows a little X-ray. Yeah.
I really like that one.
Okay.
Was that a level
your second pick?
Or
that was a stage fatality. Yep.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I really like that one. And then I really like one of the OG ones where I guess all mine are level fatalities, but I like the pit fatality.
That's fine.
When you hit them in the air and they fall into the pit while the head's at and stuff like that. Yeah. I like that one a lot. So
that's a classic.
Yeah.
Okay. So I'm going to go ahead and jump in instead of waiting till the end. Again, I'm the voiceover dude, right? So in Mortal Kombat Deception was a weird, unique era for Midway. They weren't NetherRealm Studios yet. They were still Midway. They were experimenting with a lot of things. So Sub-Zero, he had the Shredder helmet, and people loved that. He had this fatality where he would do a deep freeze. Yeah, definitely cool. He was frozen solid, but they had this fatality where he would do a deep freeze, and he would freeze your legs, and you sitting there frozen, and then he delivers this devastating kick, and the character that he kicks, their legs are frozen. He kicks that ice, and their legs just explode, and they're screaming at the top of their lungs because they're in an immense amount of pain, and they're not dead. And Sub-Zero, he walks up to them menacingly, and they're like, no, and then he raises his foot up, and they're like, no, and then he stomps on them, and he kills them. It's a super cool fatality for Deception. That's one of my favorite fatalities, and I'm not even a Sub-Zero main, but you have to give credit where credit is due. And another display of savagery was Mortal Kombat X's Melina.
Man, I knew you were going to steal that one. That was when I was going to say.
I'm sorry, bro. I'm sorry, but I'm actually going to. But I'm actually going to put the spotlight on both of them. The first one where she stabs you in the head with the sai, it's a bit on that overkill part, but it's really not because she's hungry. So she stabs her victim through the head with her Sai, and they're dying. And then, as a Tarkatan, she has superhuman strength. She rips their head off and has their head like a shish kebab on this Sai dagger. And then she opens her mouth and, shows yuck mouth, and she proceeds to cannibalize, eat their face. And she eats a little bit of it. She doesn't even eat all of it. She messes over it and slams your head on the ground. Very violent and very disturbing.
Which
and
MK
She was hungry,
I'm pretty
but not that hungry.
What'd you say, BLJ?
Which MK did you say? Which one?
MKX.
Oh, okay.
That is a
Okay,
very
okay.
disturbing
Gotcha.
fatality. And then I'm sorry for reaching in Hooty's fatality bag and stealing this one, but she has another one where her Tarkatan instincts take over and she gets worked into a frenzy. And she jumps on top of you and she uses her sharp Tarkatan claws to start, basically clawing your guts out, and they are screaming. And she is just clawing out,
Trying to crawl
with
away.
hatred. Yeah, clawing out with hatred and malice. And they are crawling away, and they just bleed out and they die. And Melina's just sitting there all vicious. And that is a super disturbing fatality.
And then she stands up with
a big fan.
with the chunks in her
I'm not
hand?
a big fan of Melina. Yeah, I'm not a big fan of Melina, but I have to give credit again where credit is due. And whoever thought of both of those fatalities definitely deserve a pat on the back, because those bad boys were, top notch. So those are my two picks. Again, sorry, Hooty. We had to co-own that fatality.
No, I got some more in the bag, believe me.
Right on.
Pull them out.
So, just to throw out a stage fatality in there, the new one on MK11's Deadpool, that was a real nice homage on the classic one, where you uppercut them onto a hook that lowers them in, and I thought that was fantastic. But I know MKX that had some of the best ones, and actually Kung Lao had his two fatalities were actually really great, where he spins his hat on the ground, holds him by their feet, and then splits them in half like a table saw.
Oh, yeah.
From their feet. I was like, oh my God. How visceral.
Yeah.
And then the second one where he throws his hat, cuts the head off, and then he slices them in fourths, and it looks like a flower when it lands. So it's like real theme appropriate too. Like turns him into a lotus almost with it, which is really badass.
True. I didn't even think about it that way.
Yeah.
But man, I could go on forever. But those are some of the favorites. My favorites that are right off the top of my head.
Yeah. Well, before we spend another 30 minutes on it, I'm going to go ahead and drop mine. I got two of them that are memorable to me. One of them is an old school classic, Jax on the Game Gear. I don't know if he had it on the console version of Mortal Kombat 2. Surely he did, but I only ever played Mortal Kombat 2 on the Game Gear. And it was the first fatality that I discovered on my own, was his fatality where he grabs them and slams them on the ground like 3 or 4 times. And the last time he slams them, they explode into just a bunch of bones and chicken livers and all kinds of shit.
I'm trying to think. I don't think he did. Did he have that fatality on Sega? I don't think he did.
I'm kind of thinking he did. I think he had like the slams where he'd slam them over and over. And it was he doing like a kind of like a wave with them, like slamming them from side to side?
Yeah, like he would grab them and like slam them over his head onto the ground.
I'm remembering that one, the arm pulls, and then I guess 3 had where he turned into a giant and would stomp on him with the boot.
See, this is where I don't think that fatality was there. They might have added it later, like as a brutality, because Mortal Kombat 2, he had the arm pull, and he had to where he clapped your head with his fist. Those were the 2 he had. We jumped to MK3, his metal arms turned into those blades, and he cut you up. Then he grows big and he stomps you. See, he didn't have the slams where he blew you up. So it might have been a Game Gear exclusive until a later entry in the series. Maybe Mortal Kombat 4 or something. I don't remember.
Yeah, I just know that was pretty much the only one I ever figured out on my own as a kid. So Jax was my main in Mortal Kombat 2 because it was the only fatality I could do.
Cool.
And then bringing it back to MKX again, because MKX has a bunch of really good ones. This one is the only fatality that actually got a gross reaction out of me, to where I was like, I don't even want to do it anymore because it grosses me out. It's Ermac's fatality.
Yep.
Where he lifts them in the air and then like wrenches them in different directions and then pulls their stomach and esophagus out. Yeah. Pulls their stomach and esophagus out through their mouth.
Cube.
I had forgot all about that.
Yep. That's the only one that I've been like, ugh. And it's the sound. That's what does it. The sound of their guts coming through their mouth is what gets me.
Yeah. So, man, I'm going to go ahead and throw an honorable mention. I'm going to describe it quick because you said Ermac and you reminded me. Real quick, Kenshi, MK9, where he slams you against the television screen repeatedly. Yeah. And then they're against the screen, and then he cuts you in half and they slide off the television screen. That was very creative, whoever put together that fatality.
Then the eye was on there too. That was pretty sick. That was a good one.
Fun fact, Mortal Kombat 9's DLC, Scarlet, Kenshi, Rain, did y'all notice that they only had grunts? But Kratos, he was like at the beginning of the game.
PSP, right?
Yeah. He was MK9.
Yeah, it was all
PlayStation exclusive.
Was he on the actual PlayStation or was he PC?
No, he was on the actual.
PSP. He's PlayStation only. So the characters that they added in MK9, Scarlet, Rain, Kenshi, they only had grunts. They didn't talk like everybody else. The intros, they didn't say anything. That's because since they were DLC characters, they didn't put as much effort into voiceover work. Again, I'm the voiceover guy, so here I am. But yeah, Kenshi, Rain, Scarlet, they did not talk. Like Scarlet made these noises. They were battle cries, but she sounded kind of like a hybrid between like a person and a cat, all her battle cries or whatever. But yeah, that was an interesting trip down memory lane. Thank you, Lambo, for bringing up Ermac's fatality, because I had forgot about that mug. Yeah, that mug was legit. Man, we already named our two, but you got me thinking about X. X was kind of brutal, man. Liu Kang pulls your vocal cords out and stuffs it in your face. That's back when he was revving at Liu Kang and he woke up on the wrong side of the bed. But that was pretty violent too.
And then Kenshi
would Liu Kang equals best Liu Kang.
Kenshi would pick you up and spin his blade and turn you into puree.
Oh yeah.
Which
pull you through the helicopter blade.
Fatality was I think it was an MK9 where someone would shoot something in your brain and then make your body tense up like this. What
that
fatality
was Cyber Sub-Zero on MK9.
That was booty.
Oh yeah.
You said that was booty?
He would shoot the ice shuriken into your brain.
Yeah. You should I remember that.
I thought that was
one down memory lane. Yeah.
Maybe it's a new beginning. Maybe it's the start of where it ends. I know. It comes down to all or nothing. This time it's for real, we can't pretend. They're closing in, and I don't wanna miss a shot. Adrenaline, so give it everything that you got. Don't stop. In your
to blow out of rage. I'm putting this variation away and let me down. Hey! The children's stream! Slap me about 9 times! Yeah, I ain't sleepy. Come on, Luke Kang. Another round. Beat that ass. Teleport if you want to. I dare you. I'm gonna slap shit at you.
Damn, boy. I thought I had him. I thought I had enough.
Shit.
You woke your boy up. You finna get it now. He did that to me on stream like a month ago. I fell for it again. Like, oh, I'm bad at this game. Boy, it was the exact same side of the screen, too. It just gave me like a nasty flashback. Oh, he did this to me before. And I even said, you woke me up. You gonna get it. Now, it's like the exact same sequence, except another day. Wow. Third time's the charm, my boy. Third time's the charm. That ain't happening no more. Cause that boy, I'm disappointed in myself with that. I said you gonna get it now, and he did. He slapped shit at me with that pole like a monkey. Wow. Imagine how I feel, my boy.
Oh shit!
I think you might have broke time.
Oh my God! It didn't give it to me. It didn't give it to me. That's all right.
I got him.
I'll let you win one off a button and put there. I'll let you win one there. You got me.
That felt good. Boy, that was worth the sweat. I was over concentrating super hard. I'm tired of losing the rating. Shoot.